Previously on Tales of the Free Folk. Always wanted to say that. One fateful night in the town of Bree, an impulsive fighter freed from jail her friend the blacksmith's apprentice, a sullen dwarf and an elf in the wrong place at the right time, and they fled to the nearby swamp where they picked up a halfling warden along the way. While fending off goblins, they discovered a ceremonial helmet with strange markings. The pursuit of its meaning led them north to the town of Trestlebridge as it fell under siege by an army of orcs from the north. In the wake of the battle, on a precautionary scouting mission, the Fellowship encountered and befriended a small band of hillmen who were themselves scavenging for a similar artifact in the ruins of their old home. Evading bandits and assassins, they traveled to a makeshift refugee camp in a large cave system. But the assassin and her allies succeeded in destroying another clan and engaged the Fellowship in a battle of the caves, where they were ultimately defeated. Now our would-be heroes have resolved to seek out the remaining pieces of armor and to engage in the prescribed ritual to reunite the scattered hillmen of Vergador. Is that still the plan, you guys?
As far as
Sure.
I know.
Okay. It's been a while since we as players.
It has.
I don't know if...
I just remember that Carve had an epic critical role or something like that where he took out the head lady.
Yeah. If you'd like to know...
Are you still depressed about that?
She was a prisoner of a ghost, and you just... Anyway.
Didn't have
But
time
here-
for questions.
Here we go for season 2.
On that note, now that you've reminded me, so it's nighttime. The day's been spent in putting out fires and continuing with quiet mournings and funeral ceremonies. There's like a large mass grave where they buried all of the invaders, and there are more private burials with the individuals of the Aranat tribe. I'm assuming that by now at night, I'm hoping that you guys are actually going to try sleeping, or are you going to go?
That would probably be a good idea.
Okay.
I suppose sleep could be in order.
I mean, it's been a long day, but it was also a long day last time, so just want to make sure of this right now.
Do we have to sleep in Lotro? That's the real question.
Is this Lotro?
That's
actually an
another
interesting.
question.
That's an interesting meta question. Alright, well, I'm going to assume that you guys went to sleep. And, let's see, which one of you?
Can we assume that the Hillmen are keeping watch?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. I mean, there's a gaping hole up top. I hope someone's keeping watch of that. But speaking of that hole, I was just rolling to choose one of you. That one doesn't mean something bad's happening. Pine Leaf, you're the leftmost on my screen, so it corresponds to you. You just you feel yourself getting shaken from sleep. Were you dreaming? Do you usually dream? Not like these weird dreams that you've been known to have lately, but.
Well, most likely my dreams are going to involve things like,
Pie?
well, I was going to say cooking, but I presume that,
Basically pie.
yeah, cooking pies then, yeah.
Hobbits.
Okay.
They're so
So-
predictable.
You're just having a wonderful dream of a pie. You're just about to take a bite, and then suddenly, like in your dream, like your hand starts jerking, and the whole world seems to start shaking. And when you open your eyes, you see that Clapper is actually like kneeling over you, trying to shake you awake.
Oh, what time is it?
That's some pie.
Clapper says something in a language you don't understand.
Oh, okay. Well, does he say anything that I can understand?
Um, I would say probably not. For this
Alright.
reason, If you recall, Clabber also talks really quickly, such that some of the people who do speak his language have a hard time understanding what he's saying. So I would say because of that, there's no way you would understand what he's saying. But, he's gesturing. He's doing the hand motions. I was just getting to that part.
He's totally saying that he had a dream about pie, too.
He was asking if yours was apple or peach.
And it was so urgent he had to shake you away.
But no, he's gesturing at your pack of equipment in the corner and at the sleeping forms of Sarissa and Ending. Carve and Maven are seemingly absent when you look around.
Okay.
And so once you sort of realize that you're going to stay awake and not going to fall asleep as soon as he turns around, he moves over to one of the others, probably Sarissa, and starts trying to shake her awake as well.
What? Is it morning yet?
He again says something. You have spent more time with Clabber, so you probably can intuit if you want to try making a language check. Is that one of your...
Nope.
No. So you can roll a mediocre if you'd like. Otherwise, he's just saying something in a language you don't understand. Okay, yeah. So you can understand that it's some kind of greeting. Like you've heard others say something similar to your ears, like when they're passing by each other in meeting. And then he continues on after that, and he's also like gesturing at your pack and like pointing at Andang with like a confused expression, and he's also like looking over at Pine Leaf, trying to make sure that she's still awake.
Well, I will parrot back the greeting at him, like I know what he's talking about.
I think he'll actually try to correct your pronunciation. I need to roll up a greeting.
That's great.
Give me one moment.
Uh-huh.
She's still half asleep anyway. It's fine.
Yeah.
She's assuming that this is all at once.
So the phrase that he's saying is Chamar Athathu.
Chimar Athahu?
Bless you.
Fu.
Chimar Athathu?
Fagumaf. And then
That's great.
for those of you who saw my article, that's an actual Scottish Gaelic expression for "How are you?" and "I'm fine." So yeah, now that the formalities are out of the way, he's moves over to Andang and again begins the shaking process, muttering something under his breath.
No more lore. No more lore.
So that's what Andang dreams about.
What's going on? Terry, what?
I don't know who Terry is. Who are you talking to?
Sarissa, what's going on?
I don't know. Athathu?
Bless you.
Bless you. Bless you. Shakes his head. Again, he's rattling something off, pointing at your pack. Like he looks back at Pine Leaf and is saying something. His expression is like a "Why are you still lying down?"
Oh, I thought.
Okay. You've muted
Okay,
yourself too.
Sit up and look at my pack and make sure that nobody's played with it while I was sleeping.
And Pine, if you are
I
muted.
probably slept with it clutched in my arms like a teddy bear, but
Andang or Pine Leaf, did you try playing with her pack?
No.
No.
Okay.
I know too well that would not go well.
And they may or may not have learned that lesson the hard way.
Were you about to say something, Pine Leaf? Because you're muted again.
You should be good now, Pine Leaf.
Yeah.
Maybe. There you go. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. Well, I had thought I heard you about to say something, and then you went mute. So, okay. So Clabber at this point has already like stood up from his kneeling position, and he's like holding the flap open and gesturing.
Okay, let's go in. Bless you very much.
I mean, you're going out. You're inside the tent.
Andeng doesn't know. He just woke up. He's totally
Okay.
lost. Like, there's normal Andeng lost, and then there's Andeng just woke up.
So, Clabber is kind of at like a pace where it's kind of like Gollum in the Lord of the Rings films, where he'll be like sort of like scampering ahead, and then like turning back and like gesturing for you to keep following him until you catch up, and then he'll go ahead again. I'm assuming a lot of you are
You guys
still.
are moving too slow.
Okay, so Sarissa, are you keeping pace then?
Yeah, I'll keep pace.
Okay. But so he's leading you, like, and he'll also be motioning for you to like be quiet. You see, like it's still dark through like the gaping hole at the top of the cave. You see that like there's like reddish clouds in the sky, so it's approaching dawn, but just because of the angles, the cavern is still mostly dark. People are still sleeping because it's still early morning. But Clabber is leading you on a path sort of across the middle of the village, their little encampment, and up one of the remaining like walkways. That was an access point from the invaders up to the giant hole. And up there you can see like the silhouettes of two people. One of them is someone who's fairly large. He's leaning on a giant sword and sort of looking out over the village. And there's someone with just like messy hair next to him just talking, but of course you can't hear at this distance. But he's gesturing animatedly with his hands while the other guy just sort of sits there. So you three have time to catch up in whispers if you'd like. Otherwise, he's just going to finish leading you all the way up to the top.
Why'd he wake us up?
Well, there's people up there talking, and I don't recognize any of them, so I'm guessing he wants us to go eavesdrop.
Don't you know hand gestures?
Only a couple.
What'd he say?
He said follow him. Come on, it's not that complicated.
Okay.
As you get closer, and the light is starting now to not be silhouetting them, but shining on them, you can see that the person leaning on the sword is, the only guy with a sword here is Fjol. And the person talking animatedly with messy hair is, of course, Master Gerald.
No! Leave the game. Leave the game.
Ending, stop being weird. Come on, we gotta go see what they're talking about.
And as you get closer, you can start to hear like Gerald's voice, kind of his loud, obnoxious voice.
In what language?
I think it would be Westron. I don't know if, I don't think he knows enough of the Hillman language to carry on a full conversation.
It means
Finally, if you're muted again. I don't know what's going on.
we could sort of understand what he's saying then.
Oh, I mean, like you hear his voice, but you're still some distance away, unless you're getting closer. Okay,
Okay.
so if you get closer, like so you could hear there's like an urgent tone in his voice, and as you get closer, I don't know if Anding wants to do a stealth roll to see if he notices you approaching.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Let's see here.
So yeah, your target is 2. Nope.
It's
So so as you're approaching,
wake up, so it's very unlikely that
about-
this thing would be stealthy.
he's about to like wrap up his conversation. He says, "I'm gonna go back and consult the genealogies again. I'll come back with you." Then, as he's turning away, he sees you approaching. I'd like to think that it's even like he sees Andang out of everyone approaching. He's like, "Oh, you! Have you come back to discuss some of the findings I was talking about?"
No.
I have a lot more to discuss, actually. You see, those genealogies I was talking about how the farmers on the downs seem to be related to the... I'm going to just, GM, I'm going to keep talking until at some point you interrupt me. About how the farmers on the downs might be related to this very clan of the Aranat tribe. And as I was going through those papers, I found that there's a lot more history than I had thought there was originally. And I think that some of these hillmen actually have ancestry that goes all the way back to the original inhabitants of Angmar. I'm surprised that we have genealogical...
Keep talking.
I'm surprised that we have records that go back this far, written records even. I didn't assume that these people would have records of this sort, but they did. And it turns out that perhaps the people, the farmers on the downs and the Angmarim are not so far distant relations after all. There was also some sort of experiment where apparently a lot of people were drowned in the river, and they think that river spirits now haunt all the ruins along the... Oh, I can never remember what these rivers are called. It's the one by the forest. There's a fishing village there. Well, I'm sure it wasn't important. Also, I still have... And he, like, ruffles through, like... He's, like, looking through, like, the folds of his tunic. He pulls out, like, a scrap of paper that has, like, a weird leaf shape drawn on it. And he says, I remember... Oh, wait, where is the dwarf? Well, when you see the dwarf, can you give this to him? I remember he was looking at it. I'm still not sure what the plant is, but it doesn't seem to be native to this region.
I'm just gonna let you keep going. Because you said you would, so let's hear it, GM.
I have a quick question for the GM.
Okay.
When
Yeah.
did Carve give the plant to the lore master, and
That's a
do
good
I remember
question.
that happening? Because I would remember that happening, but I don't think it's in the notes
He
anywhere.
didn't give a plant. It was when Carve went to go visit him because Ending didn't. And I think Gerald was also unhelpful, but one of like the sheets of paper that he did find that wasn't related to anything Carve wanted to know was about some drawing of a plant.
Uh-huh.
And that's what this is.
And so, for the record, if you haven't noticed already, Andang's not paying any attention at all to what is going on.
Mm-mm.
So I guess Gerald is still talking at you. Fuel, I guess, notices Andang not paying attention. He says, "It's still early in the morning for you."
No, this is just how I talk to lore people.
Yeah, he laughed. Yes, he has been talking at me pretty much all night as well.
I'm
He
sorry.
seems very excited about something, but he did bring an interesting point.
It seems he's always excited about something.
Well, sometimes a little excitement is good.
Just not this early in the morning.
Granted.
Nothing wrong with lore people.
So-
Rangers are cool, but this guy's not a ranger.
I'm not sure what these rangers are, but I'm not sure that they have studied as much about our people as Master Gerald here has, as the Weigistra has. But he
What'd
did
you
have.
call him?
It means teacher.
Oh, I don't like that word.
See, you can learn things even from talking to a non-lore person. But anyway, it was not Gerald who asked to bring you here. I asked Clabber to come get you. I hope you are all packed and ready to go. You said you wanted to go east to find the other clans.
Yes.
Right, yes.
Okay. How would you feel about taking Clabber with you?
Is Gerald gonna be coming too?
I feel like looks over. Gerald is still talking, doesn't seem to realize that literally everyone has shut him out of the conversation.
The circle has like closed
Yeah.
over to another part.
And then it looks back and I do not know that he would be of much use in the wild.
I would agree. He really wouldn't. We can just leave it. We can set up a nice cave space here, like a timeshare, and we'll just have a great time here.
I believe that we are all sharing time right now. But that is
Yes.
time is actually of the essence. So does what is your word? Genealogy? The birth records that he is talking about. I'm not entirely sure that I understand them, but for some reason he is very insistent that Clabber go with you and be part of the ceremony to reunite the clans. And I hope to meet you there. But he seems insistent that Clabber go. He seems to think that Clabber is some kind of royalty. He has like a brief exchange, like one phrase, and then back to you with Clabber.
This is really cool. I was awakened by royalty this morning. That's awesome.
Royalty that we can't understand.
Minor details, finally.
We can work on it.
Yeah,
no problem.
Let us not get ahead of ourselves. We are not sure he is royalty. Clabber himself does not know. His father had to leave their clan with him and his mother, and that is when they came to us, and we took them in. But we would Clabber certainly wants answers too, but I think it would be important that you go and find his clan and talk to them. Try to find out more information about this royal ancestry, as well as, of course, the rite of convocation.
So where east would we be going to find all this stuff?
It is difficult to say for certain. The last that we know of them, they lived in a valley, moors. There was a small village of he points at Pine Leaf. There's a small village of the not children there, the shoeless dwarves.
That's great.
In a valley?
Yes.
Or you say to the east, round up in the Gladden Fields area? North of the big river?
Yes, but there are many places north of the big river. Another thing to keep in mind, though, is they may have moved since then. I am not sure. But that would be a good place to start looking for them.
Okay.
Clabber knows vaguely of the way. His mother and father would talk about the path. His father
Very well.
is no more, of course.
So we're going with Clabber. You all will be going where?
We are going to rebuild just a very little bit, and here's the thing, and like he has this expression like he shouldn't be doing what he's doing. He like unslings like a pack that he had, and he gives it to you, and inside you can feel like there are pieces of armor inside. And so yeah, if you're looking inside, they are the now 3 pieces of armor you have. The helmet from this. I say like you're about to hug him, and then he like raises an arm and like lifts his sword slightly. Like, what are you doing?
This is awesome, dude.
Yes, but try to keep it down. I should not be giving it to you.
Okay.
My mother does not know that we are doing this.
Secret armor. I'll wait till I'm outside the cave and then I'll put it on.
This is not for you to wear.
Putting it on, Andang.
Besides, it is like he opens like this is just a ridiculous. He opens the bag and points inside. Like you have a helmet, you have a greave, you have a bracer, and that's it. Like what would you gain from wearing just this?
There's at least 1 point of vitality there.
You need to have the full set in order for these stats to apply.
It's a set bonus? Come on.
He closes the pack and says, the Council of Elders is still split on the decision whether to stay or to remain. But, as I said, time is of the essence. Whatever forces are out there trying to either unite the clans or keep us disparate or to try to hunt us, we do not know what is out there. But as we discussed, it is not good for us to remain in one place for too long, and hopefully this will impel them to also go east. But that could be days later, and I do not know that we can spare the time.
Can I try to convince Fuel to come with us?
You can try, but I will tell you now it's going to be difficult.
Inspiration I'm better at than anything else. Would that qualify?
So from his discussion last time, you would know, like the main reason why he will want to stay behind is because he's starting to take on some of the burden of leadership himself, and he wants to convince the council to also go east. So that's his personal primary motivation for staying behind. So it's not a matter of. It would be sort of if you wanted to convince him to leave, you'd have to convince him that his people are a lost cause and he should just come with you.
All right.
No, we're not doing that.
Yeah, Anding's still going to try just a little bit because Fuel is like the guy that he fought with alongside. He's like one of Anding's best friends outside of the party at this point. And so Anding's going to try and do it and fails utterly.
No. So what exactly are you? What exactly was your plan of trying to convince him to stay?
I was just gonna say you should come too at this point with that kind of a role.
Is there any chance that we can have a translator?
Phil looks down. Really, the only people who can translate you would be the Elders Council themselves.
Can you give us
they're
like
the ones you need to stay. Okay.
Can you give us a short like vocab list or something?
Well, I've noticed that Sarissa, your name is, yes?
Yes.
I get confused because he keeps calling you Terry.
It's the dreams. Anyway.
Name.
It's an alias that I used once when we were trying to get stories out of a band of brigands.
Oh, interesting.
I had to go by another name in order to get them to talk to me.
Plot twist, Terry Adwin was Sarissa the whole time.
Not really, but it's one way to explain why Andang refuses to call me anything else.
And it would explain the body bag.
No. There's no excuse for the body bag.
There really isn't. Anyway, back in game.
Yeah, back in game. I hope I can get the full story sometime. You seem to be able to understand him better than most, and Glaber is trying to make an effort to understand your language, if I understand him correctly. Truth be told, I don't always understand him, and not because of the language barrier.
Great.
But yes, we do not want his mother to know that he is leaving. She would not approve.
Wait. You're sending him out with us without telling his mother?
Like, Clabber and Fuel exchange glances, and there's like a shrug. He is of age.
Uh-huh.
What is the age of majority where you come from?
Well,
It's much younger as
Age
you
of
can
majority has nothing to do with leaving home without your parents' permission.
especially if you are considered to perhaps maybe be in line for some important position.
tell. I've heard even criminal minstrels ask their parents' permission before going on an adventure.
Criminal minstrels?
Yeah, it's this rumor, Pineleaf.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
I have heard that sometimes performers will set up in places where they do not have permits.
This is true. Yeah,
Which-
you have no
which breaks
idea,
the
buddy.
You really want to go tell his mother?
No. But we do
Yeah, which
want
means we probably should be gone before she.
we
has
do
have
want
it
to
from
have a
someone.
very quick team meeting, though, if you don't mind.
Very well, but if it will ease you, I can go have Master Gerald go tell his mother.
No, he doesn't need to come.
I'm trying to get him to leave us to go tell Clabber's mother. Like looks
Okay, yeah,
back outside
yeah.
the circle. Gerald's still talking. Okay, I will check back with you after your team meeting.
Thank you.
And he goes to. He's like waving his hand, trying to catch Gerald's attention.
So, are we okay going on this mission without a translator? With somebody we don't know to a place that we don't even know about?
We know Clabber.
Well, yeah, but we don't know where we're going and we can't really talk with him.
We'll work on it.
Okay.
Sarissa will know the language before we're halfway there.
Where's our dwarf?
Drinking.
What about that elf?
She may have gone off to meditate.
Yeah, she has a habit of doing that.
Alright, I think we're good and we're all on the same page.
Okay. By an amazing coincidence, as you wrap up your team meeting, you hear Gerald say, "Yes, I will go do that. It is important. A man should not leave home without his parents' knowledge." And like sort of like hurried walking, like long strides down the ramp. And so Fjoll and Clabber, I guess, like turn back to you and say, "You should leave now."
Indeed.
Before he finds out we're giving him the slip.
I will resume watch, but there is nothing stopping you from leaving. He gives like a half shrug and gestures at the collapsed wall.
Alright. Let's go.
Onward.
Okay. Yeah. As you leave, he says, like he pulls Clabber aside. They have a brief exchange, and then I guess like the last thing you hear Fjoll say is Bianachle, and then you hear Clabber say, "Okay," and then Clabber like shoulders his pack and then comes to join the rest of you.
See, it's already working. He's learned how to say okay.
And then he like looks at Andang, like holds out a hand and says like, "Bless you very much."
Thank you.
Do you leave him hanging?
Yeah, I don't explain it at all.
Okay. So as you leave, the path out is just a bunch of like large rocks that have sort of, it's rubble really, and then there's some like gangly tree roots that have been sort of like shorn where the rocks fell, and then it seems to be just like grass with like leaves covering, and you're in the forest once again. A different part of the forest, obviously. And as you immediately leave the cave, you're in a clearing, and there's actually a giant, like stone form, just lying on the ground, with an arrow sticking out of it.
Like a troll?
Yeah, if you get closer, this is a troll that's been left in the sun, and there's an arrow like embedded in its throat, and it has like a surprised, bewildered, dead expression.
I guess Carve was right. There are trolls around here.
Right. All the better reason to get out of here quickly.
So Clabber clambers over the troll and just like starts heading off in the direction of the rising sun.
Very well. I shall follow him. And
Ending points and
going.
says, "Son."
Clabber like stops and like has his hand on a tree. It's like, son?
No, son.
Son.
Please don't
son.
confuse him and me.
Over there, son. Son.
Son. Son.
Son.
Son. Okay. And then he like turns around, like he shoots Sarissa like a look, and then just continues on.
Wait, what kind of look?
Like a, what is he? What is son? And then I mean he doesn't say anything. He just gives you a really confused, like, you're concerned about traveling with me. And then heads off to the
see,
forest.
that look I can interpret with no need of a translator. Yeah, you get used to it.
You've seen it enough times, yeah.
You've made it enough times. So, just to refresh myself, do we have a travel skill now?
I think we do.
I think we do, yeah. Okay, so
I don't think any of us have invested in it, but I think we do.
time to set up a challenge, I guess.
Pretty sure that was Carve's job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you know you're heading east. So we'll start. Someone, don't roll yet. I'm still looking. So someone will make a navigation check just to see how true to east you're going. Someone will make an exploration check to see how safely in that direction you're going. Do you stumble upon anything? Are you ambushed by anything? That sort of thing. And someone. So now the question is, are you more interested in stealth or speed right now?
I think we're kind of neutral. We're just traveling normal.
I think time is of the essence. So
I mean, it
think we're
depends on what
actually
our
more
guide's
worried on
doing. I mean, we're
speed
probably
at the moment.
following
What
him.
guide?
Our guy that we're with.
I mean, the guy's just heading east, which is... okay,
Clabber
so then...
doesn't actually have an opinion on where we're going. He's tagging along with us. Remember, it's the blind. It's the blind leading the blind.
This is going so well.
So I guess a survival check then, for just general behavior in the wild.
Oh, I have survival. I can do that one.
That's the only one of them I do have, yeah.
Okay. Let me check the rules to see if you get an advantage or not. I think you have to be at least 2 to be a success with style. Is that what the rule is?
2 over whatever your
Okay,
target.
so difficulty for all of these will be 2. So 3 is 1 over, so you don't succeed with style. But you do succeed. So can I get exploration and navigation from someone? Doesn't have to be ending all the time.
It's like is a skill that nobody has.
But you can just roll other skills, it's fine. We can always just blame Carve.
That's true. Blaming Carvette is a viable option since he's not here to defend himself.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any idea what skills Corvette has?
I can pull that up, but he's not with you, so he won't be able to help you.
Oh, he's not even with us?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
I just like the idea of Pineleaf suddenly realizing that the party is split and like, what am I doing here?
I'm surprised it took all of you that long, and you didn't ask that as soon as you left the tent. I'm also surprised you didn't ask Phil if he knew anything. But okay.
Well, anyway, it's...
and Sarissa are fine doing whatever.
But for the record, Carve does indeed have both navigation and exploration.
Of course. I don't know, you just like inflicting us with the with navigation checks. I think it's one of the worst skills to require in a game. Let's see. I mean, closest I've got is perception, and that.
Okay. What was this other skills roll for? Perception, I guess you can use in place of exploration.
I mean, you're talking it's morning, so it's not exactly. Yeah. But the question is whether or not I could see the sun through the woods.
Then mine was navigation, if that's what Pineleaf rolled.
Oh, okay. You have navigation?
Nope.
He has other skills.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll roll perception and see if it at least gets enough navigation by seeing where the sun is, since it's pretty obvious which direction that is.
Okay.
That doesn't really give me anything.
Yeah. So I'll interpret that. Okay, so just putting everything together. I'll interpret this so as you proceed, at first you can still see the sun through like the leaves, so you have a general idea of where east is. But as you go, you start getting into like denser parts of the forest, and so like it's, your way is still lit, but which exact direction the sun is coming from is harder to tell.
Right, especially when it gets closer to noon.
Yeah. It's still early morning though, so as you go for exploration, I guess, is the other skills. So you're making good time. You're not getting bogged down too much. You haven't run into any difficult terrain. It's been mostly just like leaves underfoot. But at some point, you finally come to this gorge in the ground.
Oh, fun.
And at the bottom, there's like a slowly moving stream. It's maybe like we'll say like I'm not good at judging distances. It's like 3 people laid end to end across, so that's what, like 6 meters.
Close enough.
Okay, okay.
And then on the other side is like a clearing. It's a little bit rockier on the other side, and there's like clumps of grass, but then beyond that, it's like the turf again. So you can either try crossing or look for a better place to continue traveling in that direction.
All right. So try crossing. Crossing will require athletics.
Athletics or acrobatics.
Well, knowing our abilities to find stuff, I would prefer to try to cross it.
Okay.
I don't know about you guys. What do you?
I'm game.
All right.
Clabber actually starts taking. He has like a small like chisel from like his toolkit. He just goes to a nearby tree and he starts just like chipping away at the trunk.
Chipping away at the trunk?
Like in place of an axe head.
Like to chop it down?
And gesture time.
No, I get it. He's trying to chop it down to maybe make a makeshift bridge, yes?
Clabber's just working.
Okay, well.
I'm fine just letting him work.
Very well. I'll see how easy it is to get across.
Go ahead, let's have the smallest person try.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Do you have acrobatics or do you only have athletics?
You
only have athletics.
Acrobatics.
Okay. Well, so you don't make it across. I guess. Give me another perception check. We'll see if you can catch anything. If you notice any like footholds or handholds or scrubs that you can grab on the way down. So I think like you found them, but it's like you see it just as you pass it, so you can't get a good hold on it.
Andang tries to reach in to catch Pine Leaf.
So.
How deep did you say the gorge is?
I'd say it's maybe like 3 stories.
Ouch!
It's sufficiently prohibitive.
So, I'd like to be very clear. My feet are still firmly planted on the ground.
What other skills do you have, Andang?
Nobody thought to bring a rope.
Nobody thought to bring the dwarf. Why would
someone have resources?
Which one?
Resources.
I don't have that.
No.
I don't.
Resources is the skill you can use to. So if someone wants to roll resources to see if they remember to pack a rope.
Nope.
That says no way.
We have like a flashback where someone's packing and they have the rope. And how we're not gonna need this.
No, probably Carve has the rope.
I think Carve has resources. Okay, so Ending was successful for his athletics. I think the question though is sheer athletics enough to? Okay, so I'll say, since it's not a success with style, I'll say that you managed to grab Pine Leaf, but you've grabbed Pine Leaf by the foot, so Pine Leaf doesn't have like a strong grab back on you. And
Larissa, it's a lucky Hobbit foot. I found it.
And now you're starting to like lose your balance as you're being like pitched forward by the momentum.
Sarissa!
What?
Help!
But I can't lift either one of you.
Just keep me from falling in.
Okay.
Time is running out.
I try to save myself from this a little bit.
Nah.
Now that I've seen it been slowed down, I'll see if I could see anything nearby me now.
Okay, let me see if there's. Okay, yeah. So you can manage to find like a handhold that you can like push up on.
Okay.
There isn't really anything else to grab nearby, but at least you're not gonna be dragging Andang down.
Okay, dokie. So now I need to try pure athleticism to try to get back up?
You can try that. Clabber still hasn't noticed what's going on.
Okay. Let's try.
Okay, yeah. So you're like inching your way backwards up the cliff, as Andang, I guess, is like pulling on your leg. What's that experience like?
Creepy.
This is like a situation that you find yourself in, and I swear, Sarissa, this isn't what it looks like. You don't even know what it looks like. Okay, so I guess eventually you've like inched your way up so that you can like grab hold of something and Ending doesn't have to hold your foot anymore.
All right.
And then you can scrabble back up on that side of the cliff.
All right.
That was a close one, Pineleaf.
Yeah, maybe I'll just watch him try to do whatever he's trying to do to that tree.
Yeah. As you look over back at Clabber, you see he's taken a piece of rope and he's tied it around the tree trunk.
See,
and he's like, he's like looped it over a branch, and so he like the cut that he's made in the tree is about halfway through, and he's starting to try to like pull it to sort of weaken the remaining structure on the trunk.
Okay. Well, so it looks like he's trying to pull the tree down?
Yeah, I mean, the trunk is going to need more work on it before it's ready to just pitch over, but he's stressing the trunk.
Okay.
I told you guys he's making a bridge.
Ending tries to inspire and encourage him at his good work.
I think like how are you trying to inspire him? Okay. Like you start clapping, and like that gets his attention, and he's like sweating. He like calls out to you, and he's like extending the rope to you.
I hold on to it.
Okay, yeah. And so like he's saying something, he's gesturing, and like he just wants you to hold it in place while he goes back and attacks the strained trunk.
Okay, hold on.
The attack of the deadly trunk.
Hopefully none of these trees start walking. So now that the tree is like sort of bending backwards, he's like attacking the underside where it's weaker. Anding, do you have wits?
Do I have wits?
Give me another skills roll. Okay.
Accurate.
You notice the trunk break just as it breaks, without time to prepare. So you can do whatever you want to try and get out of the way. Okay.
I try to run away.
Sure. I think like you just you make it out so the trunk doesn't fall on you, but you get like scratched by all the branches and stuff. And so then, like, you're like tangled up in the leaves and things.
Pine leaves? Ugh.
They're probably not pine trees if someone wants to.
Anding knows that, but thought it was a funny joke, even though no one else will get it.
If it's not a joke, is there anything to get? Anyway, so yeah, like Clabar like runs over to you, and is like trying to help you untangle yourself, like checking for any cuts. How lucky are you?
So we need to put some Ranger Neosporin here, here, and here.
So you just have like minor cuts from like where you've been scratched, but it's nothing serious. You're not bleeding out or anything.
Good.
He has like a cloth that he's like dabbing at them to like make sure that it's not dirty around the wound area, and then like he puts the rag back inside his filthy bag and starts trying to like maneuver the trunk towards the gorge. And you know, it's a fairly tall tree. It's like 10 feet. So
10 feet, you said?
Or 10 meters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering how you're going to get a 10-foot tree.
That's not going to close the gap. So as he's trying to do that, there's like a little bit of does someone want to try doing perception? Probably you, Pineleaf.
All right, perception. All right, let's try to get some perception here.
You just have to beat a 1.
All right, let's see perception. I need a perception check just to find it.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, yeah. So you notice there's like a little bit of shaking, like birds have started flying away, like in sort of like coming towards your direction or where the birds are leaving. Clapper is still trying to drag the tree. He's engrossed in his work as he always is. So it's up to you to say something, Pineleaf.
I notice birds are.
You notice there's like like the ground is still shaking a little bit, even though the tree's already fallen.
Oh, okay.
And you can hear and see like the birds fleeing the trees, starting from farther away and starting to come closer to you.
Okay. What kind of birds do they look like?
I don't know, they're birds, man.
Hey! Whether or not they're going to be a problem.
They're fleeing something.
You can't tell, Pineleaf.
Well,
yeah.
All right. Okay.
What kind of bird lives in the
forest? I guess I can't fathom as a reason why I'd be too worried about the birds, based on what you described.
They're running away from something, flying away from something.
I thought he said they're fleeing the tree, but if they're fleeing the tree, it's because we just pulled it down.
No, they're fleeing toward us.
Starting out farther away, and they're
else.
fleeing towards your direction.
Oh, okay. So.
And did I mention the ground is still shaking?
Okay, that's Okay, I guess we just had the tree fall down. I thought it would. Oh, over there. Pointing towards the birds. And pointing towards the birds and seeing if anyone.
Anding just grabs onto the tree and starts to help moving it.
I'll help roll it too.
Okay. Are you going to try helping too, Pineleaf, or?
What, trying to move the tree?
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm going to keep an eye on the birds for the moment, seeing how I have a feeling. Actually, what is my... does it look like a Hobbit strength is going to do any good in helping this?
Okay. Well, you have athletics, though.
Yeah, okay, I do have athletics. You're right there. Okay, I might as well help if there's any way I can.
Okay. Ending, since you started, I'm going to have you... You're going to be like the main athletics role, but first we're going to have Sarissa... Actually, Sarissa, do you have athletics?
Nope.
Okay, so you're helping as flavor, but not with mechanics. Pineleaf, you can help, though.
All right, let's see.
So if you succeed in this role, or succeed with style? We'll just say succeed, which you did. So, Andang, you can go ahead. If you do like the roll again, do the 40F plus skill plus modifiers, and then add a modifier of 1.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Pineleaf, is it shift 1 or is it shift 2 or just plus 1 for helping?
Oh, for helping. Oh, I think I remember.
Okay, actually that's enough. So yeah, so I guess like all heaving together, like maybe even spurred on by the thought of whatever might be behind you. You just jerk like the tree across the canyon, and it's like almost slides out of your hands and just lands on the other side beautifully. So who wants to cross first?
I'm gonna be going across as soon as I can.
Okay. So I guess you'll... Okay, so determine an order for the 4 of you. Whoever the third person is, will have to even if that's Clabber, I'll roll for Clabber. Third person will have to make a roll to see if the tree is still sturdy enough to try crossing after the first two, and the last person will be making a roll to see if they can cross before.
Go first, because Pineleaf is the lightest person.
Andang's doesn't give it time to think. He's already going. Andang's a coward. He's already going.
Apparently so. I probably had the ward mentality, so I'd probably doing rear guard anyway.
Okay.
I rewatched episode 2 this week, which is named The Deadly Hobbit or something along those lines. I think Pineleaf is fine doing what they need to do.
Sarissa, are you going to let Clabber go before you, or?
Yes, I will let Clabber go before me.
Okay. Clabber actually gestures you first.
Okay, well, unless he decides to be all chivalrous, then I'll go second.
This is just a test to see if the command works for me. It does. Okay. Okay. So Clabber's, I guess, looks over at Pineleaf and offers. Are you insisting on staying rear guard?
What are you saying? He offers?
He offers to let you cross.
Oh, I am. Well, I'm still keeping.
The roll I just made, by the way, isn't the roll I was talking about for the sturdiness of the bridge. We haven't determined the order yet.
Right. I'm still planning on being last.
Okay. So I guess as the shaking continues and you're not moving, so Clabber starts crawling across the bridge. And this is the actual roll. Okay. The bridge stays standing for you, Pineleaf.
Okay.
So now you make an athletics, I guess, since this is speed.
Okay, athletics. All right.
Ooh, okay. So I guess maybe because you're being so cautious and keeping an eye on the rear, you're just sort of backing slowly. But as that happens, another tree just sort of gets pushed to the side, and there's a couple of stone trolls. Let me roll for their perception. It won't be very high. If you want to roll stealth, Pineleaf, we can see if they notice you.
Okay. Well, one question. Are the trees still very thick in this place?
They're not. I mean, if they were very thick, there's no way that Clabber would have nailed, chiseled through it so quickly. They're probably a good maybe 1.5 foot diameter, I'd say.
No. I didn't mean how thick the trees were. I meant how
the thickness of the forest.
Dense the forest is.
It's still fair on the side you're on. It's still fairly dense. It's sparser on the other side.
Okay, so therefore that means trolls aren't likely going to be following us to the other side once we get there.
Right.
Because they will avoid the non-dense parts of the forest due to sunlight. All right. So, but okay, I lost my train of thought there. What did you want me to roll? Because I just.
So you, I guess I can. Actually, yeah. You already failed athletics, so I can let you roll stealth to see if they notice you, and it'll be opposed by my perception for them. So this isn't necessarily a failure. Because.
Good grief! This what is this?
Oh. But you have +3, and you just.
Oh, hold on. Let me check something before I. No, that's only defending against ranged attacks. That's not against being seen. Okay, never mind.
So I guess there's these two stone trolls, and the one that's pushed the tree aside isn't even looking forward. He's like looking back. And I swear I heard something, Harry. And the other one's like, just keep an eye out. Oh look, it looks like dinner's up ahead. And then the one in front, not Harry, he says, "Oh well, they're too far away. We can't go over there. It's too bright. We should do our hunting at night. I told you." And Harry says, "Not them, you idiot! This one right in front of us." And then was like, "Oh well, hello there. Don't you look mighty tasty?"
Oh, right. That's very okay. So they're looking at me saying that I'm mighty tasty.
Yes.
I am exactly where am I at? Am I on the bridge, or am I on their side of the bridge? Or
You're on their side of the bridge, still in the shade. You can try to clamber onto the bridge where they won't follow you.
Right. That's athletics, I guess.
Yeah. And it'll be opposed by their wits for basically their reflexes.
Wits on a troll. That's.
Yeah, talk about your oxymorons.
Of course, the way I've been rolling today, I don't think I've. We'll see if I can roll any better.
I'm pretty sure trolls have higher wits than Andang, though.
Well.
Hey! You did it.
They're probably arguing with each other.
Yeah. Do you have like a repartee as you go onto the bridge? Like,
oh, a repartee.
like, catch me if you can, or something like that. Or do you just don't even bother?
Well, I think my repartee. I have a feeling that any repartee I have will involve the point of a javelin.
Are you going to throw a javelin?
That sounds like something I might instinctively do.
Okay.
Now, since I'm being cautious, I'm going to give myself a -2 on being able to actually hit because I'm more trying to make sure I get across than anything else.
Sure. Okay. So, oh, okay. So you actually you'll hit them then. Well, you'll hit probably Bert, the one in front.
Right.
Now you know his name. So yeah, you're right. They're probably arguing. Like Bert's like, I don't feel comfortable being so close to the edge of the light. And I said, he's getting away, and he like shoves Bert forward right into the path of your javelin and like sticks in his shoulder. And says, oh, the little thing stuck me. And so he's actually gonna try, just like out of rage, he's gonna use athletics, and he's gonna try to like pound the edge of the tree that's still resting on his side.
Oh, ouch. Maybe I shouldn't have done that.
We can see this from the other side, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
If you want to join in, you can. Now.
I'm gonna throw an arrow at the trolls.
Throw an arrow.
Yes,
that's
I'm
how she does it.
Okay. It falls short.
Obviously, because.
Oh boy.
Now, I do have a ranger bow that I'm wanting to use, if I can.
Okay, so first things first, the troll, using its trollish athletics, and I guess probably fueled by just like rage and reflex, he like crushes like the part that's still on his side, and so the bridge, it starts to like slide down. It winds up catching and sticking just because of its length and because now the heavy part's on this end, so it's going to just implant itself further down the cliff. But Pineleaf, can you make a... What rolls do you have?
Does Clapper still have his rope out, or did he put it away?
The rope is currently tied around the middle of the trunk. So Pine Leaf, you have some options.
Okay. I
Not
am
good
in
ones, but you have them.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I'm in the middle of a tree.
Yeah. There is
That's
a rope tied around the tree at your feet.
right.
One end dangling down into the gorge.
Right. And I have an option of trying to get to the other side of it before this tree falls down, or is that option now gone?
That option's still there. Like the tree, it's one of those things where like it's leaning down, but one side is stuck on the troll side of the gorge. So for now, it's stable. You can try clambering up, but after enough time, when the weight shifts, it might start sliding down more and then catch again.
All right.
While you do that, you're still exposed to the trolls, and if anyone else wants to do anything, they can try to help.
Well, Anding fires his bow at a troll.
I will try to clamber the rest of the way. I have a feeling the rope is going to be a worse option in the long run.
Okay. Are you going to try to get the rope at least, or not even?
I don't think I'm going to spend the time to try that.
Okay. So as you climb up, you see there's this beautiful arc of an arrow going right above you. and so maybe even like we have the camera shows you turning back, and it like lands right in one of Bert's eyes.
Okay.
So he just starts like stamping around like swatting. He like broke the tip off, so now there's like it's harder to pull the shaft out with his big meaty fingers.
That's my lucky hobbit foot.
Ares says, "Oh, I knew I should have brought a rock with me," and then starts just like slamming the ground on his side, trying to like he's like digging into the ground basically. It'll be some time before he has a projectile. Meanwhile, this is shaking the tree. So, Pine Leaf, that's your roll for athletics? Okay, yeah, so by the time he starts shaking, you're already basically on the other side.
Okay.
So you can feel sort of like between your legs or under your feet if you're like as you're climbing. It starts shaking. And then maybe you like just jump onto the other ledge as it shakes loose and falls into the gorge. And then it's like from the far side, you say, "Oh, now they got away. Stupid Bert!" And you hear like this big meaty smack. All right. Back south we go, I guess. But Conker's waiting for us. And then they sort of like lumber back into the trees.
So the rope's relatively retrieved, I'm assuming, or retrievable.
No, not anymore. The tree's fallen down.
Okay. So the rope's gone. So we don't need a rope anymore. That's great.
Yeah, Clabber's probably like looking over the edge. And then, just sort of like shrugs and then like re-shoulders his pack again. Like you can see the sun now, so you can resume heading east, unless you want to stop and debrief or something.
I want to get out of this place.
Yeah.
Okay. So on this side, like the trees are starting to get taller. It's less deciduous, and now you're starting to get actual like pine trees growing. They're spaced farther apart, and there's a lot of like the carpet of like the fallen needles on the floor.
Hey, pine leaf! Look, needles. They're pine needles. Get it? Pine. I thought it was funny.
So like Clabber hears that and looks back and says, pine leaf, and like reaches down, pulls on it, and then like holds it next to Pine Leaf. Pine leaf? Okay.
It's funny that even when I make sense, I seem crazy to some people.
So he just sort of continues going. He like pauses suddenly, and then like kneels to the ground. Do you notice that she stops, or do you do like the running into each other trope?
I think we notice.
Okay.
We're kind of on edge after the whole troll thing, so.
Yeah. And so like Clabber's kneeled around, and there's an impression in the like carpet of needles. Does someone have a survival roll, or is that also still carved?
I have that skill. Honey, what's your survival? Because I think you got it earlier too.
My survival's only 1.
Mine is 2, so it doesn't matter. I'll go ahead and do it. Oh.
You've been rolling better than I have been usually.
Until now.
Hey, yeah, that's almost as bad as one of my rolls.
Well, Pineleaf, do you want to assist? You can do that since you have a +1.
Okay, I might as well.
And then maybe that'll be enough to.
And there's no real time issue right now, really. So.
I rolled 0. That's high for me today.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a time-sensitive thing. It's just a question of, do you understand anything at all? So all you see is just there's like a good-sized impression in the carpet. So like Clabber's looking at it, like says something with an inflection that sounds like a question, and then looks down, realizes no one understands. Like finds a stick somewhere and like clears away some of the needles. And so first he draws, it's like a stick figure in the dirt, and then he points at you, Andang. And then he draws a larger stick figure next to it in the dirt, and then points at the footprint.
Oh, I got it. Some sort of big critter. Right?
Yeah.
Like a giant or a troll?
I'm suddenly a little bit less confident than I was when he was drawing me.
What, are you looking at the stick figure? Look at all those muscles he gave me.
Yeah, I was like, man, this is awesome. Best stick figure ever.
So he like casts the stick aside and starts like looking around warily, and continues slowly. The path is starting to slope down. Like there's fewer needles, and it's more just like loose dirt and small rocks. There's still like tall pines here and there, and then as you're going down, and there's like a little sort of like rocky outcropping, at the bottom of the slope, where there's like scraggly brush everywhere, but it's mostly rock as the defining feature. Are you going to just continue proceeding down in the like straight line slope descent? This isn't like a steep slope either. I just mean like it is a downward incline.
Would there be anything we would know that this would be like not the right way to go or something like that?
You're still traveling east. I guess if you're looking for a valley, there's a valley like below that rocky outcropping.
Well, Anding's probably that naive, so I'm gonna go ahead and say that we're good to go.
Pineleaf or Sarissa?
I don't know where we're going. I mean, other than east.
I mean, all I know is that we're heading in the general directions of across the mountains based on what he said, based on what we were told earlier, but outside of that.
So there's, you're on this downward. So if you recall, like the entrance to the cave and where you'd been so far was elevated, hence the gorge. So you're starting to slope down out of that, and it sort of like culminates in this large rocky outcropping. Beneath that, there's like an entryway to like a small valley that's sort of surrounded by low hills.
Okay.
And then, like still further east, it starts to slope up again, and there's like taller, almost like mountain ridges.
Okay.
Not quite as impressive as like the Misty Mountains or the Blue Mountains, but taller than the relative hills.
Okay, so sort of an Appalachian type mountain.
Maybe not even that.
Not even that.
Like
okay.
the Smoky Mountains, maybe. And so to the south is this sort of like hidden valley, and then going further north, it starts to become like open plains. There's some like grazing outrocks probably you can see in the distance.
Okay. I think the player's starting to understand where we may be, but but
I think I've been dropping
the character
enough hints.
Okay.
So Anding might think that this is somewhat familiar territory then.
Hey, yeah, Anding thinks there might be a secret refuge. No.
Seriously though, like
It's not a secret.
Anding might think this is fairly familiar.
So would you like to... what skills do you have? If this is a skill you don't have, I'm not sure that you do it, but... if you'd like to do a lore check to see if it's something about... Okay, yeah. So, like, drawing on your memories of your time with the Rangers. Actually, you didn't even have to roll. That's one of your aspects.
Yeah.
Your Ranger knowledge. So like from your time with the Rangers, you had heard mention. It was never told to you directly, but people had spoke like the Rangers would talk about a camp somewhere in the Downs. It was ambiguous whether they meant the North Downs or the South Downs, but since there was a lot of activity going to the North Downs, you might reasonably assume they're talking about up here. And I guess. Okay, so like while you're on the slope, maybe it doesn't occur to you to check, but as you start piecing it together, once you reach this rocky outcropping, like as you look around, you actually find there's like a pile of stones that has like a sort of like star marking on it, which you recognize as one of like a cache of the Rangers.
When I see that, I just stop and see if anybody else notices that I stopped first.
Clabber is just.
I'm starting to really look at this structure to try to see what it might tell me.
What do you mean by structure? It's like a pile of rocks.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Okay.
It's technically still a structure.
Yeah. Okay. I just now that I know that the players are getting an idea of where we are, I just want to make sure there's no ambiguity.
Right. Yeah.
We're not where you think we are, or where you. Yeah. Anyway. It's been okay. I guess to examine it, that's not going to be lore. That'll be survival. Clabber, for his part, has just sort of like gone to the edge and is like looking down and like around, looking for a good way to keep going without walking off. Okay, yeah. So like it's a pile of rocks. They're kind of weathered, so they weren't placed here recently, and like the sort of like the edges around like the marking, it was just made with like a dagger blade. It's just a superficial scratch, but like some of the tips are kind of blurred, so it was made a while ago, but not like forever ago.
Right.
If you want to move the pile of rocks, there's probably something buried underneath it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
You're gonna do that? Okay. How are you just like pushing them over, or are you like taking them away? Actually, tell me, like, is there like any like what would you expect to be in a Ranger cache from your time with the Rangers?
Probably a lot of junk. to start things off. From my experience with Lotro NPC Rangers, a lot of junk. I'm gonna go ahead and carefully kind of look through here though still.
Okay. So yeah, so as you remove the stones, you find like there's a small leather pouch underneath the pile, and sort of there was like a natural like cleft inside the rocky outcropping, and that's where they put it, and they just pile the rocks on top of it. But so in this leather pouch. Of course. In this leather pouch is a bunch of like spoiled rations.
I thought they put something that would.
It's cram, but it's been here for a while, and there's like a little bit of like mold growing at the edges. If you like cut off like the outer bits of the bread, then you can probably get to like stuff that you can actually eat without getting sick, probably.
Andang just thinks about how much Gerald would love this.
And then there's also which are still good. There's like some of like the like jerky, like strips of dried meat with like preservatives pounded in.
I'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping in mind that food gives you absolutely nothing in this game.
Perfectly fine with that. I'm still taking it.
Okay.
Okay. I will try to. I will try to assess how good this food is, alright?
No, I like the idea that Pineleaf just, like, sees me doing this, and he's like, how did Andang find food?
Oh, actually, yeah, that is it. Like, did you stop and explain yourself before you started moving the rocks?
I have not explained myself at all.
So, Sarissa and Pineleaf, what was your initial reaction to just Andang suddenly stopping and then...
What are you playing with those rocks for?
Yeah.
I'm guessing that I didn't respond that because I was focused on doing this still, so...
And so now, like, you found this pouch and you're just pulling out food. So, Pineleaf, you're assessing the food. Like, it's...
I'm just assessing the food. And I think I came to just about the conclusions you stated, that it's not exactly top fit.
It's not gourmet, but you can eat it.
Yeah.
Hey, Pineleaf, if you want the cram, they're all yours.
I think I'll pass.
Well, here's some jerky if you want some.
Clabber comes around and like he like pokes at the cram and like looks and like can I like with like a can I take a piece expression.
Okay.
So like he like tears a piece off of the cram and like chews it, eats it, swallows it. And then, like, shrugs. Like, ours is better. Let me see how lucky you are. Not lucky. Okay. This isn't bad.
There's a shock.
So, yeah, so, like, you're on this rocky outcropping. It's starting... By now, it's starting to be, like... noonish, approaching noon. The sun's not fully overhead yet, but you're exposed. You're in the light. How do you want to proceed? So, like to recap, you can continue going. Like you can backtrack a little bit and then find another way to continue down the slope to get to the bottom, or you can try climbing over the rocks to the south to get into the hill area.
Well, the last time we tried climbing over rocks with Maven, she broke our fall. So, since we don't have an elf here, Andang's probably thinking we need to go another direction.
I mean, your options here right now are going back the way you came, trying to clamber over the rocks, or trying to find a safer way down.
I think we need to find a safer way down.
Do you lead the way?
Since nobody else is responding, sure.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so I guess as you... So how far... Like, are you just going to like basically like the edge of the rocky outcropping and then trying to continue down the slope there, or did you want to find like a nicer way down?
Trying to find a nicer way down without losing track of where I'm at.
Okay, so since you can see the sun, you can keep track of position that way. Like the slope you're on, so the slope was going west to east, downwards. So as you're traveling around it, you'll be going in like north to south along that bank. It gets a little bit steeper below the outcropping, so you have to go like a little bit farther north to get to a part where it starts sloping out again. And at that point, you're back in like the shade of some of these tall pine trees. Like it's not as dense as before still, but because they're tall, they're casting a shade.
Right. Okay.
Clapper is still like very cautious as he proceeds.
Okay. Let's keep going down the safer way, I guess.
Okay. At some point, he reaches a clearing where there's like it's nice because like the trees are sort of staggered so that it just blocks out the sun and a good patch of shade. And so Clapper just sort of like sits down, like motions to stop, and then like starts pulling like his own rations out of his pack to start making like what you saw them eating when you met them at the very beginning, with his like ground meal that he's adding a little bit of like liquor to, and it starts to cook the instant meal basically.
That's a lot better than Graham.
All right, I'll try to make some lunch for us.
As expected, Master Chef. So what are you making? Are you trying to build off of what everyone has, or did you?
Well, I don't have much else but what everybody has,
Okay.
probably. So if there are any local herbs or anything like that, I might notice. Good.
Yeah, with a roll like that, sure. Yeah. So like, are you like making like a fire? Are you like stewing anything, or?
Well, I don't think stewing is going to be much of an option on what we've got right now, because
Okay, yeah.
that would require, I think, something more elaborate. In other words, like catching a rabbit or something like that on top of it.
Or a roll of 4 instead of 3.
Well,
I mean, catching a rabbit would be survival, not crafting. Does someone want to try catching something?
well, the way I've been rolling today, I don't think I'm likely to.
I got my jerky. I'm fine for today
Right.
at least.
I right now I'm hungry enough that I think a simple meal is going to have to do.
Okay. So you probably have some of like the like hardtack basically kind of bread. There's some of the cram, most likely. I think
Yeah.
Anding's more than happy to share that with everyone. And then like Clabber himself also has like a few like herb leaves that he contributes. So you like for seasoning. And then so you all have a meal. Does anyone like, are you talking while you're eating, or is it just like a snack while everyone catches their breath?
So how'd you get the name Pine Leaf?
You'd have to ask my parents that.
I would imagine her parents.
Good point. I don't know how I was named Andang.
Well, at least if they were still alive.
That got dark. Note to self, don't talk to Pine Leaf.
I like how that's your reaction.
No. I don't even know.
Okay, so I guess maybe like Pine Leaf mutters that, and there's just that awkward tension, and then suddenly like you hear like a voice call out like, "Don't anybody move!" And then
Carve.
You feel like a hand clamp on your shoulder from behind you.
Not Carve.
Like everyone who's facing Anding sees someone with just like sort of like a leather garb and some like olive green like cloth, like holding a bow, but it's not knocked or anything. Just like one hand on Anding, keeping the rest of you in his eye line. Meanwhile, like as you're in the circle, you can see that there's like others like him with bows at the ready, not fully drawn, but keeping a guard on you. And like the one with Anding says like, "What are you doing out here? It's not safe out here."
Yeah, we know there are some trolls back there.
I'm not joking.
We're having
War is
lunch.
coming to
what
the
does it look like we're doing?
We're eating. This Hobbit made this great food. Do you want some?
The guy points at Clabber. Where is he from, and why are you traveling with him?
Well,
right.
We don't actually know where he's from. We're traveling to go find out.
We've been tracking several of his kind. They're up further north. You do realize it's very odd company for some of you to be with him.
We understand. We recently were attacked by distant... I don't even know how to describe it.
Another tribe?
Another tribe.
Tribe. Look, I think you'd better come with us. Our expedition leader's gonna want to talk to you.
Well, you're the ones waving around the scary bows, so sure.
Although I did just roll a 6 back there in combat, so... But anyway, keep going.
Sarissa, Clabber sort of like looks at you, like hands in the air, like his meal's sort of still like fermenting next to him, and he says something. It's another question tone, and plainly he wants to know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on. Except that they're pointing bows at us and want us to come with them, so that's what we're gonna do.
So like the one who's been talking, like the others just sort of like silently like lower their bows, so then it's not an immediate threat. The one with the ending sort of like gently but firmly pulls you to your feet, and then like starts to get you walking north. My name is Guylant, by the way. You look familiar.
I was thinking the same thing. You look a little familiar, too.
Did you break off from that group we were pursuing?
I was thinking RangerCon 2937, but...
That was a long time ago. Given that the current year, as you know, is 3018.
I say 29. I meant 30. Number.
Hey, some Rangers are long-lived.
He does not look that long-lived.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm bad with numbers. Sorry. It was a year.
I don't know what's happening, but there have been some folk that look like the farmers on the downs who've been banding together with some of these hillmen. Hillmen. Always been a problem. Always have to be on lookout for them. Something's happening.
Not all hillmen are created equal, thank you very much.
I mean, they're pretty much all the same, at least as far as we've seen.
That's
because you're probably usually just pointing your bow at them and then shooting without asking questions first.
Usually they're setting fire to stuff without asking questions first.
Well, yeah, this is true. You guys just, if you get the hand gestures right, they wouldn't do that anymore.
All about
this one's obviously not a warrior.
Oh. Yes. What was your first clue?
like perfect straight face. The fact that he didn't have any weapons. This is the first hillman I've seen not to have weapons on him. Even the women.
Well, this hillman's not exactly from around here, so.
Was he leading you, or were you leading him? What was your destination?
It was a mutual thing. We were headed towards a place far from here to help him find his tribe.
I see. What's he doing so far away from it? Was it a raiding party gone wrong?
Andang just looks at Sarissa and expects her to take the conversation, as is fairly normal with Andang's conversations.
Well, as far as we know, from what we were told by his people, he and his mother left.
You met his people? I thought you were going to his people. Just how long have you been in cahoots with them anyway?
I'm not cahooting with anybody, thank you very much. But we've known this particular hillman for, what, like 3-4 days?
At least.
I think it's 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
I missed a couple of nights somewhere and lost track of time. That's what happens when you don't sleep because you're too busy cleaning up after everybody else's messes.
But we've had nothing but good experiences with this particular hillman.
I still can't help but notice you've avoided dodging the question. But we'll get back to that. What about the halfling? Did you kidnap her?
What about the halfling?
Oh, Pineleaf? No, we didn't kidnap her.
Someone completely different, kid.
What are you doing so far from home? Breland is quite a ways off.
Yes, it is. Well, it all started when I was on patrol looking for goblins.
We're going to get the whole story.
I would like to hear the Pineleaf abridged, like the abridged version of Pineleaf's perspective of what's gone on.
Who said anything about abridged?
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think it's gonna be all that abridged.
Anyway, all right. Yeah, so it all started with I'm from Stattle. I was getting ready to
I've been disarmed for it. You're clearly not a Shire Hobbit.
Right. I was going on patrol looking for some goblins, and unfortunately I ran into
some crazy people.
Yeah, in fact, I don't think any of them are here at the moment.
Nope.
So much has happened in the last week that it's hard for me to keep track of what's been going on. But in the end, I wound up getting in with another group, and we're going through the Midgewater, and we found these goblins, and they apparently had some ceremonial equipment that was associated with some hillmen. And we're trying
so naturally, you turned it into your superiors and allowed the investigation to continue.
Well, I
Sure,
wish I was thinking logically at the time.
I thought Pineleaf did report back, though.
I did report back, and
Not about what she found, if I remember correctly.
No, she didn't tell him about the armor.
Right. When I did report back, told them that we took care of the goblins, and then I went on my own to invest with these people to investigate what this was all about. and we wound up in Trestle Bridge and wound up defending the town.
Before or after the siege?
Well, we were under siege during. See, I got there, then the siege came, then we helped to fight their battle.
Wow, you're gutsier than I thought. Not bad for a chef.
And we kind of helped too towards the tail end of the battle. We cleared out a camp.
We totally helped.
Yeah.
Oh, you cleared out a camp. he like elbows like one of the other. I can say it, Rangers. They cleared out a camp, and then everyone just starts laughing.
I kind of just point.
One of the other Rangers is like, was it a day camp?
I kind of just I don't touch my bow, but I kind of like look over my shoulder at my bow to see if they'll notice that it was given to me by the Rangers.
Do an inspiration roll.
And it's just kind of like a confidence thing, like,
yeah,
I really did clear out this camp, kind of a thing.
Okay, yeah. So most of them are still sniggering, but Gylent at least, like, yeah, like he takes note. He's like, "That's a ranger bow."
Indeed, it is. I've spent time with the Rangers.
Either that, or you killed one and took his bow. Either way, perhaps
really
you
think
are.
You could kill a ranger.
Have you met me?
Now you're changing your story. As soon as I generate another name, I will continue with what I'm saying in my deep masculine voice.
Okay.
Give me one moment. Yeah, let's go with Arahan. We'll see what Arahan has to say about this. And like, as he says that, he like gives you like one more prod into like this clearing where there's like a bunch of it. So there's maybe like there's like a half dozen Rangers maybe with him right now. Now there's like a full dozen basically, and it's just like there's like a small cook fire, but it's not live, so there's no smoke or anything. There's like a scattered sleep rolls, and there's other Rangers who are just sitting around like sharpening weapons, and there were a few.
You're sitting around. You don't. I'm so
you don't
shocked.
Say. Yeah.
This is our camp. You're with the Rangers now.
It sounds like us.
That's pretty much how it went last time.
Yeah.
I think we're calling it for tonight.
But don't worry, Pineleaf. They have a gift shop that we can go to later to get like bows and all sorts of stuff. It'll be fine.
Yeah, but we have to get all the way up to Kindred.
Well, luckily I'm already there, so I can just get them for you guys. So.
I'm not calling you kin.
Man, that ranger grind is not a fun grind either.
No. All right. Well, I think that is the end of tonight's Tales of the Free Folk. Thank you very much, Gray, for creating all this. That was awesome. So, I mean,
finding
you
the
came
new
up with like the stone thing as well, and like all that stuff. Or was that already the stone? Like, I'll call it structure since that's what I called it earlier.
Oh.
Did you come up with that on the spot, or yeah?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I mean, it's the. I mean, like for insight in the process, you had mentioned wanting to do a check for ranger stuff, and there are rangers in the area, so let's throw you a clue.
That's cool. All right, well, that was a little bit of insight into how all this went together, but we'll see you again in 2 weeks, right, Gray?
Yeah, should be.
Yeah, so we'll see you again in 2 weeks for more Tales of the Free Folk, but till then...
And so, for those who were asking earlier, Carv was not here today. He will be returning. Maven, unfortunately, has decided to leave the show. So her character will be getting we will find out what happened to both to May the elf minstrel and a little bit of what happened to Carve during this session. But he'll be back next session. So don't tell
And you know, we can get a summoning horn. It's no problem. Carve will be back in the group in no time. So I might have to pay Gray $1 though. We'll have to see. So
nice,
anyway,
$1.
So anyway, thank you everyone so much for watching, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks for more Tales of the Free Folk.